Hi there. In our last session, we had Abraham making the final the final payment, the final payment for the property to bury his dead for a long time to come, for future generations. So let's continue now. He had made the deal sure. So let's read if there was any fine print involved. Last time we mentioned that there might have been some fine print. Nothing comes for completely free. Nothing comes without a catch, does it? So here we have Genesis 23:17 to 20. And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of the city. The entire property was made sure to Abraham, right? And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which is a strange sounding name, before Mamre, which is right beside where he lived. And the same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burial place by the sons of Heth. Don't know if you got that last part. We'll make a comment on it. So these 4 verses are so straightforward that nothing more needs to be said. Nevertheless, we read in verses 17 and 18, which I quoted, the field of Ephron, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. Now, there's 2 words here that really jumped out at me. That is the 2 words, to make sure. Making sure meant that the deal was closed with no one able to reverse it, especially with the witnesses of both the Hittites and all that entered the gate of his prospective city. This deal was known by Hittites from all over the Hittite territory as belonging to Abraham, the Hebrew. So now Abraham felt free to bury the remains of Sarah in the cave of the property that was now officially his. Wow. So, as we can well imagine from verses 17 and 18, we also find that the property Abraham officially acquired was probably sizable enough to support a settlement or camp. This brought about a second make sure. You see, the first make sure was that Abraham had a burial place. Now, the second make sure was to prevent Abraham from settling there and be totally independent. So we read in verse 20, the cave, the field, were made sure to Abraham for a possession of a burial place by who? By the sons of Heth. Wow! There was fine print. Again, I'd like to repeat that. To prevent Abraham from settling on that field and be totally independent because the land belonged to him. We read in verse 20 that the Hittites were also Canaanites, made sure that although this possession belonged officially to Abraham, he could only use it as a burial place. So consequently, Abraham still, as far as the Hittites were concerned, dwelt in Canaanite territory. Well, I know Abraham was trying to out-finagle them, out-bargain them. But in the end, they out-bargained him, didn't they? You see, when we read through this, we don't always get the gist of it, right? So the important lesson here is that when we seal a deal in a contract, we are aware of everything or what we would call the fine print. That way we would never be surprised with, I never saw that coming. Wow. And that, I think, is what Abraham discovered. I never saw that one coming. Nevertheless, we know Abraham acquired a burial place for generations to come, right in Canaan.